Hey guys, welcome back. So let's take a closer look at Trump's Warp Speed plan. I know many of you are aware of the plan, but in case we have anyone new, we'll go over what we already know real quick.
No, I'm not overpromising. I don't know who said it, but whatever the maximum is, whatever you can humanly do, we're going to have. And we hope we're going to come up with a good vaccine. Johnson & Johnson and Oxford and lots of different great companies, representatives of our country in some ways. NIH is working very hard and doing a terrific job. No, I hope we're going to have a vaccine, and we're going to fast track it like you've never seen before. If we come up with a vaccine, I think they probably will.
And who's in charge of that Operation Warp Speed?
We have, you know who's in charge of it? Honestly, I am. I'll tell you, I'm really in charge of it. I could.
And then, of course, a week later, Trump expanded on his Warp Speed plan, and we heard this.
Same kind of struggle. A key feature of our reopening plan is the largest and most ambitious testing system in the world, by far. America is now conducting close to 350,000 tests per day, an unthinkable number just a short while ago. More than anybody in the world by far, suggesting many states now have excess testing capacity to monitor for new outbreaks. Florida, many other states have so much testing, the testers are waiting for people to show up. It's great. Another essential pillar of our strategy to keep America open is the development of effective treatments and vaccines as quickly as possible. I want to see if we can do that very quickly. We're looking to, when I say quickly, we're looking to get it by the end of the year if we can. Today, I want to update you on the next stage of this momentous medical initiative. It's called Operation Warp Speed. That means big and it means fast. A massive scientific, industrial, and logistical endeavor, unlike anything our country has seen since the Manhattan Project. You really could say that nobody's seen anything like we're doing, whether it's ventilators or testing. Nobody's seen anything like we're doing now.
Not only does it mean big and fast, it also means crooked and corrupt.
The great national project will bring together the best of American industry and innovation, the full resources of the United States government, and the excellence and precision of the United States military. We have the military totally involved. We're also working very strongly with other countries who are also have some great scientists, doctors, and we're all working very closely together, and they're viewing us as the leader, and we are the relationship with other countries on solving this problem has been incredible. To date, Operation Warp Speed has brought together all of the experts across the federal government from places like the NIH, CDC, FDA, and many other agencies. This historic partnership will now bring together the full resources of the Department of Health and Human Services with the Department of Defense, and we know what that means. That means the full power and strength of the military, and that really...
So in other words, he's combining big pharma and the military-industrial complex.
We're talking about the logistics. If we get it, when we get it, that means the logistics, getting it out so that everybody can take it. And
everyone can take it.
Today, we're proud to announce the addition of two of the most highly respected, skilled professionals in our country, worldwide respected.
Highly respected and worldwide respected.
Operation Warp Speed's chief scientist will be Dr. Moncef Saloui. Chief scientist will be Dr. Moncef Saloui, a world-renowned immunologist who helped create 14 new vaccines. That's all.
Let's take a closer look at Moncef Saloui. The first news story comes out of Morocco, from the Morocco World News. There's Moncef Saloui's picture. He looks really trustworthy, doesn't he? On March 31st, 2020, about 45 days ago, Morocco's Moncef Saloui denies involvement in U.S. COVID-19 task force. Isn't that hilarious? Basically, anytime these guys say something, just believe the opposite. That's the most accurate way to to view these things. In Rabat, Morocco, immunology director Moncef Saloui denies being part of the U.S. government task force to find a COVID-19 vaccine. The doctor said he had no working arrangement with the U.S. government in a statement to Moroccan French language newspaper L'Economist. Several local news outlets claimed that former chairman of pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline, and guys, if you go back into my media library, SKFS, and by the way, SKFS stands for Susan Killed Free Speech. Anyway, video number 23 goes over Moncef Saloui's tenure as GlaxoSmithKline boss and the atrocities that were committed around his vaccines. Anyway, let me continue. Several local news outlets claim that the former chairman of pharmaceutical giant GSK is part of a task force that is researching a vaccine to clamp down on the spread of the virus. So in other words, these small little local news outlets got their reporting right. They absolutely knew what was going on. Just a few weeks later, Moncef Saloui would be announced as Donald Trump vaccine king, his new Warp Speed Czar. The international expert is currently a member of the board of directors of the American biotechnology company Moderna. So this small little news outlet in fricking Morocco knew that Moncef Saloui was on the board of Moderna. Let's see what else is happening over at Moderna. In our second story, Trump's newly appointed coronavirus czar, Moncef Saloui, will have to divest his $10 million in Moderna stock options after initially claiming there was no conflict of interest. This just came out today, May 18th, 2020. There are the two vaccine fanatics right there, Donald Trump and Moncef Saloui. Moncef Saloui, the former Moderna board member who was tapped last week to lead Operation Warp Speed, the White House's effort to quickly develop COVID-19 vaccine, will have to divest himself from his stock options in Moderna, the company said on Monday. And it isn't ironic that he has to divest, since all of these people claim that asking for someone to boycott, divest, or sanction anything is racist. But that's neither here nor there. Moncef Saloui, a former board member who was tapped last week for the White House's effort to quickly develop a COVID-19 vaccine, will divest himself of his $10 million in stock options in a pharmaceutical company, Moderna representatives said on Monday afternoon. Dr. Saloui resigned his board position last week upon the appointment of his new role to oversee the White House's Operation Warp Speed initiative, Moderna said in a statement to Business Insider. Consistent with his appointment, we can also confirm that Dr. Saloui is divesting all of his equity interest in Moderna so that there is no conflict of interest with Dr. Saloui in his new role. No need to look into it any further. I'm sure he's going to take that $10 million and just give it up to nobody. And he's not going to make any money off of any of this. No conflict of interest. Nothing to see here whatsoever. And this is not another case of Donald Trump filling the swamp with the swampiest swamp creatures ever known. And while we're on the subject of local news outlets reporting something and then the big media claiming that it's a lie, and guys, I'm not saying that local media is trustworthy but a lot of times they'll report something before the powers that be get a hold of it. So you can find some true stuff, especially when you're talking about these smaller countries. This story is out of Nigeria. Bill Gates offered $10 million bribe for forced vaccination in Nigeria. Based on an intercepted human intelligence report, a controversy has erupted in Nigeria whereby it is revealed that Bill Gates has offered a $10 million bribe for a forced vaccination program. What's with the $10 million? They sure like that number. Anyway, Bill Gates offered $10 million bribe for a forced vaccine program for coronavirus to the Nigerian House of Representatives. The opposition political party rejected the foreign-sponsored bill mandating the compulsory vaccination of all Nigerians, even when the vaccines have not yet been discovered, and demanded that the speaker be impeached if he forces the bill on members. Kind of like what we see out of Florida. Okay, you have Governor, I think DeSantis is his name, one of Trump's allies, mandating that all Floridians be vaccinated. Anyway, the development comes a month after RFK had released a piece about Bill Gates' obsession with vaccines. Just a couple of days later, now an Italian politician has demanded the arrest of Bill Gates. Fantastic news. Let's take a quick look at some video footage that happened in the Nigerian House of Representatives. Okay, so here is the video footage. The first guy speaking will be the opposition party who is trying to bring up this issuance of a bribe by Bill Gates.
Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, I'll come under personal explanation. And I think it's very important at this hour. Thank you very much first for the very clear and then listen to the voice of Nigerians. But again, on the same subject matter, there's an issue going on around the country that we are giving $10 million leadership for the National Assembly. And it has gone viral. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that as far as I'm concerned, dying has not reached to me. Nobody has negotiated anything to me. I acted in the interest of Nigeria and in the collective interest of our nation. And for anybody to make the kind of insinuation, Mr. Speaker, he has breached my privilege, and I think it should not go like that. I want to plead again that the House should set up a committee to investigate this very spurious allegation and, if possible, take legal measures. This is to stem people who will think they will just go to the corridor of the press and make a spurious statement against Nigerians. We have our integrity, we have our faces. I can raise my head high up anywhere, anytime, anywhere. And I want to say, dying, and I have never gone to any negotiation with anybody on this particular bill. Thank you very much. This is my own point of observation. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so he's addressing the Speaker of the House. Pay close attention to what the Speaker of the House does with this. He's going to completely turn it around and use it as a way to censor social media.
Thank you. I personally think, and once again, I think, and many members have also shown concern, but sometimes in life and in politics, there's some things that are best ignored. Because when you elevate, when you address certain things, you elevate and give credibility to those purveyors of those of the news. But be that as it may, I think the allegation, however ridiculous it sounds, may also maybe worth investigating, like the Deputy Speaker has said. Unfortunately, we don't have a culture of litigation in this country. Otherwise, so many of these things would have been abated if rapid and quick resort to the judiciary was adopted. But that's not, for many reasons, that is not done. But that's a possibility in this case. A very, very, very good, very, very strong possibility. And maybe some people should, so an example should be set. For me, this is all they have done. All they have done is to give credence to those who believe social media should be regulated. That's all they've done. They're the same people who claim, oh, you cannot regulate social media, or you cannot regulate fake news, are the same people who are actually engaging in those activities. So they're hurting themselves. In a bid to hurt the House and the leadership and members of the House, they end up shooting themselves in the foot. So even for those who did not even think of giving the social media regulation the second look, you have now encouraged them to actually look at it and the damage it may cause if they don't go, if it goes.
So in other words, if you bring up something like Bill Gates bribing their house, then that's reason to censor social media, because it's such a ridiculous claim. Don't need to look into it. None of that. We just need to ban social media. And just to follow up, the official statement was published in the Nigerian Daily Post, and it read as such: Operation Coalition, otherwise known as CUP, has intercepted very credible intelligence and hereby alerts Nigerians of plans by the leadership of the House of Reps, led by Femi, to forcefully and without adherence to the rules of lawmaking to pass the Control of Infectious Diseases Bill 2020, otherwise known as the Compulsory Vaccination Bill, which is proposing a compulsory vaccination of all Nigerians, even when the vaccines have not yet been discovered. The intelligence is coupled with the information of the alleged receipt from sources outside the country but very interested in the bill of the sum of $10 million by the sponsors and promotes of the bill to distribute among lawmakers to ensure a smooth passage of the bill.